Hello everyone. I'm going to talk about patch design fundamentals and also challenge you, or hopefully challenge you. I'm going to play for you a patch that you might recognize, and I want you to try to create it. That means create it with any synthesizer you have. I'm using the Modal Argon8, but you could use any soft synth or synthesizer that you want because this is a really basic patch. I highly recommend not looking up how to do it and kind of just learning, because to me that's the most fundamental thing about synthesizers, is trying to control them is really important. So anyway, let's get started. So here's the patch that I'm going to challenge you to create, and you probably may recognize this, you may not, but I'll show it to you in context and then also give you some more information about it. Here's the patch. Now you might know that, and if you need a little more to jog your memory, I'm going to play a sketch that I did. So this is all Argon8, the patches, and it's not an amazing piece of music, but it's just a sketch, for me to learn how to, control different aspects of the synthesizer. So I'll let this play, and then at the end, I'll show you where it's from. All right, so that was, whoa, start again. That's pretty much it. So this is the Xfiles theme song, and I'm going to show you exactly where it comes from. The artist name is Mark Snow, and you can find it. It's just Xfiles theme song, and you find it pretty much anywhere. I'm not going to play it just so I don't get flagged on YouTube, but it sounds a lot like my little sketch, especially the whistle part, because when I created that, I didn't spend a lot of time doing like a piano. And by the way, if you are just going to pick a patch and try to create something with a synthesizer, piano might not be the one to start with. If you start with something like this whistle, that's a really good one to work on. So now, pause the video, go create it yourself, and see how you do. See if you can do it. And if you didn't pause the video, well, let's keep going, and then I'm going to show you how I did it. So we're going to switch over to the Modal app. So give me a second here. Fire that up. And I need to do a couple things here. I need to make sure I set that, and I got to turn the monitoring back on. I should be able to hear it now. There we go. All right, so this is the patch. And if you're not familiar with the Modal app, I can still just kind of point things out and walk you through it. But the first thing, pretty basic, is you'll see there's two oscillators here, or two waves, and they're sine waves, so that's really basic. And the big change is actually right here, is that oscillator 2, or wave 2, is being tuned up one semitone. And so this kind of lesson is about using dissonance as a sound design tool. And this isn't the reason, but it's one of the reasons why when you have a synthesizer that has multiple oscillators, getting them out of tune with each other can create dissonance. So let's hear what this sounds like. Okay, now if I take away the dissonance, like if I tune this back to just where, it's at 0, like here, it sounds okay, but it doesn't have that kind of like, it doesn't have that whistle kind of like turbulence in it, and that's one way to get it. So let me increase that turbulence so you can really hear it. So that's even more, right? Maybe a little too much. Let me just make sure I can load this back up. There we go. That's resetting it. Okay, so then the other thing that I did, there's lots of different ways to do this. You might have used white noise, you might have done all sorts of things. You might have used FM, You can go down all sorts of paths to try to create that basic whistle tone. What I'm going to do here is go into the modulation and show you one little thing that I added. Was it had this little start that was like this little whoop whoop sound. So it was like, and I'll exaggerate that so you can hear it. Right here I have the depth. I'll turn that all the way up. So has this little whoop whoop, and I'll exaggerate even more by doing this. So now you can really hear it. Okay, so let me take that back down. Let's reset this. And I discovered that after I did the patch. It didn't sound quite right. I went back and actually added that little touch. But again, and I'm kind of delivering the same point over and over again. But if you went into this, you know, and you kind of struggled and had trouble with it when you sat down for the first time, trying to control gear that you have that you think you know really well, you know, it's a good thing to try to figure out. Now, sometimes not everything is made to do, you know, all types of sound and music, but still, it's a good challenge to see if you can do it. And obviously, you know, the real thing here is to pick something else. You know, pick a song you like and go, wow, how did they do that? Why does that sound so cool? Why do I like that so much? And then try to sit down and actually sculpt something yourself. Yes, you can load up a preset and then look at, you know, how it was, you know, you can kind of reverse engineer it. But I find that making yourself use your equipment and to create your own patches is really fun, and you always learn a lot. One thing I didn't mention was all those tracks in my sketch I did on the Argon8, even a little click sound with the delay and everything. And by creating each one of those even quickly, I learned different parts of the synth, which is really cool. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Thanks, and I was going to do the usual like and subscribe, but that sounds so weird, but go ahead and like and subscribe. And then send me any ideas that you want, but I'm going to keep kind of going through some fundamentals, and see you later. Bye.